Slasher Showdown, at the time I'm recording this, is the biggest project I've done, and in doing so there were many outtakes as well as behind the scenes antics. And because I absolutely love watching behind the scenes footage, I've actually decided to post my own. I'm going to do this scene by scene as opposed to actual order it was filmed, mostly because we've filmed in the woods so much I can't remember when we did what. So without further ado, here we go. Scene 1, and the easiest scene to film by far, was Freddy's boiler room, aka the corner of my basement. We actually finished filming that scene probably around 15 minutes. All we really did was film random pipes and that looked like they belong in Freddy's boiler room. One thing to note, however, is that this is the actual sound the plastic made when it rubbed against the metal pipe. No editing was done. Then afterwards, Doug, aka the actor who played Freddy, and I went upstairs and we recorded the voiceover, which originally was very high-pitched. There are others like me. And was lowered in editing.
There are others like me.
As well as adding the red hue that most of the scene has. The next scene was the Leatherface chase scene. The chainsaw is real, however the chain has been removed as well as a lot of the internal mechanisms to make it a tad lighter and easier to use. Also, the actor running, Aaron, is the same actor you will see playing Pennywise in the final fight as well as the brief flashes leading up to it. The rest of the time he's played by Jaden, who also plays Leatherface. Yet again, another real easy shoot and probably took a half hour. Next was this scene from the house, which was actually the last scene we filmed chronologically. When I came up with the idea of the film, the 6th horror character, because, you know, even numbers, I kind of wanted there to be 6, was actually going to be Chucky, but I didn't want to go through puppeteering a doll the whole film, so I replaced him with Pennywise and gave Chucky a brief cameo. Michael Myers in this scene is actually played by Angelo, aka the first to die in this scene, since I didn't have another actor to play him. That's why he dies off screen. He also plays Ghostface that one brief moment at the end. Back at the woods, we have Freddy and Jason talking. Funny thing about these wood scenes is that most of the time I'd be shooting 2 scenes in one day, and so I had more actors than I needed. For example, the chase scene and the first half of the Ghostface versus Jason fight were all in the same day. And the Freddy and Jason conversation, Pennywise versus Freddy, and the second half of Ghostface versus Jason were all in the same day as well. So during those days, spare actors would have nothing to do, and so to keep them occupied, they'd knock down dead trees and built a fort on the path, which is actually what gave me the idea for this moment. That wasn't originally scripted at all.
Take your foot.
Leatherface versus Michael Myers. I've actually always wanted to see that fight, and so I included it in the script. This was chronologically the first fight scene we filmed, and so we were still trying to figure out how to choreograph it and, you know, all that jazz. During this scene, Jaden and Alex accidentally hit the light, but I thought it looked really cool, so I had them do it the next 2 takes. Also, 3 of my friends, one being Jake, who is the actor who plays Ghostface for the duration of the film, and Jared, who plays Jason for the majority of the film, wanted to see what was going on and wanted to observe, so they came down and just out of frame in every single part of the fight scene, there are 3 of my friends hiding because they wanted to observe how I was doing things. The only reason this next fight happens is because I found something kind of funny of having the physically weakest character fight one of the physically strongest. Hence why nothing Ghostface does ever really does anything to Jason. However, it wasn't planned that Jason was going to lose his machete. He was supposed to have it the whole time. However, the reason we didn't have it the whole time is because we accidentally broke the damn thing. So these 2 clips here, which shows Jason losing it, were actually filmed on a separate day after we fixed it. Just in case anyone's wondering, probably not, but the part where Freddy forces Pennywise in the trees was done by having Jaden run from tree to tree, and in editing I sped it up, used only the moments where he hits the trees, and then put a frame or 2 of him running between. The end result works, and I thought it was pretty funny. Back to Ghostface and Jason. This was the last scene where Jared played Jason, actually. He plays him for the entire scene, but he actually was busy during the Michael Myers versus Jason's fight, as well as the final fight, so I needed to recast in the middle of shooting. As a matter of fact, this shot right here is the very last shot that Jared is playing Jason. This next shot is actually a week or two later, and I had gotten my friend Nathan to fill in for him. Also, during the Michael Myers versus Jason fight, I couldn't get Alex back, so who else but Jaden is playing Michael, which means that he literally played half of the horror cast in this movie at one point. And then finally we have the final fight. Unfortunately, the trend of not having enough people continued, and I didn't have anyone to play Michael Myers since Jaden had to be Leatherface. And since I was running low on time and my second cameraman was a good few inches shorter than everyone else who had played Michael in the film, I had to step in and play him during the final fight, which is why there's a real lack of directing during it. However, Tom owns a drone, which we used for some brief shots earlier, and so we used that to make the final film differ from the others, and so it didn't look like a piece of crap. Then once it was time to start knocking characters out, we didn't need everyone in the shot, so it went back to the way it was normally directed. This project was extremely fun, and I have a lot more like it planned in the future, but until then, I'll leave you with these miscellaneous bloopers and behind the scenes clips. You don't know how to wear that mask, do you?
No.
I'm recording. So go through 3, 2, 1, go.
I'll try it again.
Oh, I didn't break it.
Oh,
Try it again.
all right. All right, perfect.
What?
Can you not pull him?
It's hard to close in only one hand.
Oh, I missed.
Fitzy, you didn't punch me.
What do you mean?
You didn't punch me.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Alright.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Paul.
And in recent news, 2 more.
Get lost. It would be quite a favor if you could take out these 2 people. Whoop, I'm chicken niggas.